Students, in our previous class we discussed about the nomenclature of the aldehyde and the ketones. In today's class we will revise the physical properties of aldehyde and ketones and their method of preparation. So first of all we will discuss about the physical properties, and when we talk about the physical properties, one point should be very clear in our mind, and that point is that aldehyde and ketones are containing carbonyl group, and that group will make them polar. So most of the physical properties of aldehyde and ketones, they are associated with this polar nature of aldehyde and ketones. So first physical property is the boiling point, and if we are talking about the boiling point of aldehyde and ketones and we compare it with corresponding alkanes and ethers, we found that aldehyde and ketones contain or have higher boiling point as comparison to alkanes and ethers. But if we compare it with compounds containing hydroxyl group or alcohols, we found that its boiling point is lower than the alcohols. For example, in the screen we can see that this is your butane, and if we are particularly talking about this ether, its boiling point is 8 degrees Celsius, and then we come to propanol, its aldehyde, its boiling point is 49 degrees Celsius, and then similarly acetone 56 degrees Celsius, and this is your alcohol which is containing the boiling point of 97 degrees Celsius. Now because of polarity reason, we can clearly say that aldehyde and ketones are having high boiling point as comparison to corresponding alkanes and ethers. But if we compare that with the alcohols, they have lower boiling point, because in case of alcohol there exists the hydrogen bonding, which make their boiling point somewhat higher as comparison to aldehyde and ketones. Here is the list of some of the compounds which contain different type of the boiling point. For example, first of all, this is propanol. Alcohol is here, molar mass is 60 and its boiling point is 97 degrees Celsius. All the boiling points are given in degrees Celsius. And this is your propanol, molar mass is 58, it is 49 degrees Celsius. We can see propanone, it is 56 degrees Celsius. Now butanol, the molar mass is 74, boiling point is 118 degrees Celsius, and butanol aldehyde 72 and butanone 72. They are having 76 and 80 degrees Celsius. So from this figure we can clearly say that alcohols are having higher boiling point as comparison to aldehyde and ketones, and aldehyde and ketones are having higher boiling point as comparison to alkanes and ethers of comparable molecular mass. So for example, this is your formaldehyde, which is gas at room temperature, if we are particularly talking about the state of this aldehyde and ketone. So generally the lower member exists in the gaseous state, and then they exist in the liquid, and then higher aldehyde and ketones may exist into the solid state as well. Recently we studied the IR spectroscopy topic. That was our fourth unit. So we know that at carbonyl stretching vibration will happen in case of aldehyde and ketones, and what about that carbonyl stretching vibration will appear at around 1700 centimeter inverse, right? And this is for ketones, and this is 1725 centimeter inverse. This is for simple aldehyde, right? Along with this we can have CH stretching vibration for aldehyde, and it will appear at around 2710 or 2810 centimeter inverse. So this is the IR spectroscopic data for aldehyde and ketones, and this is for ketone. Still some more IR spectroscopic data for different type of the aldehyde and ketones. For example, this is your ketone, but this is an conjugation. So we know that the conjugation will lower down the vibrational frequency, so it will appear at around lesser wave number as comparison to the parent aldehyde or ketone. So these are the IR spectroscopic data. No need to explain it here because I have already explained it into my previous class. That was only meant for the IR spectroscopy. Now we will come to the solubility, and if you are particularly talking about the solubility in case of water, you know, carbonyl compounds, they doesn't have any hydrogen bonding, right? But they can have hydrogen bond to water through the carbonyl oxygen because it contains the carbonyl oxygen. It contains the C double bond O, and if we are particularly talking about C double bond O, means that oxygen can make the hydrogen bond with water molecule, right? So generally the lower aldehyde and ketones, they are soluble in water, and the reason for their solubility is generally their aliphatic portion, their R portion is somewhat lower, and that's why they can easily form the hydrogen bonding with the water molecule, and they can be soluble in water. But if we are talking about aldehyde ketones having more than 6 carbons, they are insoluble in water molecule, right? They are insoluble in water molecule because now the hydrophobic portion, means the hydrocarbon portion in the aldehyde and the ketones, will be increasing. So the solubility will be decreased, or it will be now insoluble in case of water, right? And if we are talking about higher aldehyde and ketones, they are soluble in the organic solvents such as benzene, ether, and carbon tetrachloride. So if we are talking about complete solubility, the scenario of the solubility of aldehyde and ketones is that the lower members, means up to 5 carbon atoms, in which the hydrophobic hydrocarbon portion is very less. At that time it will be soluble in water, and the solubility is mainly because it contains the carbonyl carbon, and that carbonyl C double bond O, oxygen is there. Oxygen can be hydrogen bonded with the water molecule. And if we are talking about aldehyde ketones containing more than 6 carbon atom, at that time the solubility is 0, means they are insoluble in case of water, but they are soluble in organic solvents, right? So this is all about the solubility. Now we will come to the preparation of the aldehyde and ketones. What are the methods, and what will be the course of reaction, and what will be their mechanism if it is required. So we will discuss it in the subsequent slides. Preparation of the aldehyde and ketones. Here is, you know, a diagrammatically view that how aldehyde and ketones can be prepared, can be synthesized in organic chemistry by various means. So first we will take the alkene. If we want to prepare aldehyde and ketones from alkenes, there are 4 methods. The first method is the ozonolysis. You studied this reaction in your first year in second semester, that when alkenes get ozonolized, it may be called as the reductive ozonolysis process. At that time alkene will be get converted into aldehyde or the ketones, depending upon the type of the substrate. Second one is the oxidative cleavage of the alkenes, in which the carbon-carbon multiple bond will get oxidized. The third one is Waker process, and the fourth one is OXO process. Means these are the 4 processes by which we can convert alkenes into aldehyde and ketones. After alkenes we come to alkynes. For alkynes, the first method is acid catalyzed hydration. Means the hydration, addition of water molecule in carbon triple bond carbon in presence of acid. So acid catalyzed hydration will convert the alkynes into aldehyde and ketones. And the second reaction is hydroboration oxidation, means there are two reactions combined into this single one, that is called as the hydroboration oxidation process, right? So first we will do the hydroboration process and followed by the oxidation. So it will convert alkynes into aldehyde and ketones. Now alkanes, if we are particularly talking about alkanes can get converted into aldehyde and ketones by controlled oxidation method. Now we have alkyl halides in which there is halogen attached with the R group. Alkyl halides can get converted into aldehyde and ketones by hydrolysis. And hydrolysis of what kind of alkyl halides? Gem dihalides, geminal dihalides I am talking about. So geminal dihalides on hydrolysis will get converted into aldehyde and ketones. Now cyanides. For the cyanides we have Stefan's reaction in which the cyanide will get converted into aldehyde and ketones, and the second one is the reaction of the cyanides with Grignard reagent, right? And followed by some more reaction, maybe some hydrolysis will be there. So cyanides can get converted into aldehyde and ketones by these two methods. Come to alcohols. You can see that alcohols have wide reactions. So we can mostly convert aldehyde and ketones. We can mostly prepare aldehyde and ketones from alcohols because they have good applications. So the first one is PCC, PDC and Collins reagent. This is the controlled oxidation of the alcohols. Then again oxidation of the alcohols in presence of copper, red hot copper we can also say it. Alcohols on reaction with this one will get converted into aldehyde and ketones. Reaction with HiO4, lead tetraacetate, KMnO4 K2Cr2O7, this is again the oxidation of the alcohols. And then open your oxidation reaction of alcohols. And the last one is from the carboxylic acids and their derivatives. From carboxylic acid we can prepare it by the distillation of the calcium salt of the fatty acids. Second one is the Rosenmund reduction. And the third reaction is the when acyl chloride react with Grignard reagent. So here are different type of reactions, different type of methods by which we can prepare aldehyde and ketones. Now we will discuss it as per our syllabus and our curriculum. So first of all we will discuss about the oxidation of the aldehyde and the ketones. Oxidation of this alcohols to be converted into aldehyde and ketones. And if we are talking about the oxidation process, different types of oxidizing agents can be employed for the reaction to happen, and these are categorized as very strong oxidizing agent, and mild oxidizing agent. So first of all we have KMnO4, and this KMnO4 is acidified KMnO4, will act as a very strong oxidizing agent. Then we are having KMnO4 in basic medium, alkaline KMnO4. This is a strong oxidizing agent. H2CrO4 we can also use it in place of this KMnO4, or potassium dichromate can also be used in acidified condition in place of KMnO4 in basic medium. And the mild reducing agent is CrO3 in presence of pyridine or copper at a temperature of around 300 degrees Celsius. So here are the different oxidizing agents that can be employed for oxidation of the alcohols into aldehyde and ketones. Here is the reaction. This is your alcohol, and this alcohol on oxidation will get converted into aldehydes. And then this aldehyde, if we are particularly talking about the primary alcohol, this aldehyde will further be oxidized into a carboxylic acid. Now we are taking secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol is get converted into a ketone. So primary alcohol can be converted into aldehydes, which further will get converted into carboxylic acid, and the secondary alcohol will get converted into the ketone. Tertiary alcohol, there will be no reaction at all. But if we take the very strong oxidizing agent, at that time reaction will happen, and in that reaction what will happen, there will be a fragmentation. And how the fragmentation will happen, you can see that this particular alcohol is containing 3 R groups. Here are the 3 R groups, R, R prime and R double prime. So R and R prime will make the ketone, and this R will get converted into carboxylic acid. So if at tertiary alcohol we take very strong oxidizing agent, and it will oxidize it to a ketonic group and carboxylic acid. But if we are taking the mild oxidizing agent and strong oxidizing agent, there will be no effect of these oxidizing agent on the tertiary alcohols, right? So this kind of test can also be used for the distinction between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol, right? So this reaction is not only talking about how we can prepare aldehyde and ketones from the alcohols, but this reaction will also tell you that how you can differentiate between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohols. So this is the reaction by which we can distinguish. Here is another example that we are taking the tert butyl alcohol, and this is the mild or the strong oxidizing agent, but there is no reaction. But if we are taking KMnO4 here, an acidified medium, heated condition, you are getting the acetone and formic acid as one of the major product of the reaction, right? Here are the some mild oxidizing agents are here, that we are having this Cu, copper at 300 degrees Celsius temperature, or CrO3 in presence of pyridine we are taking here. So this is converting this particular ethanol into acetaldehyde, right? Now the point here is that if we are taking the primary alcohol and that primary alcohol is allowed to react with strong oxidizing agent or very strong oxidizing agent, at that time what will happen? It will be converted into carboxylic acid. And if we want to get only aldehyde from that primary alcohol, then what we will have to do? Then we will have to use selective oxidizing agent. And what is that selective oxidizing agent? That is Collins reagent. Collins reagent is also called as the Sarrat reagent, which is dipyridine chromium trioxide complex. Dipyridine chromium trioxide mixture, right? So this is Collins reagent or Sarrat reagent, or we can use Corrèze reagent, and Corrèze reagent is pyridinium chlorochromate, which is also called as the PCC, pyridinium chlorochromate, Corrèze reagent, or we can also use PDC. And what is this PDC? Pyridinium dichromate. So this Collins reagent or Sarrat reagent, Corrèze reagent or the PDC, they are generally used in organic solvents like CH2Cl2, and with this organic solvent, when they are allowed to react with the primary alcohols, the primary alcohol will only get converted into the aldehyde. Means the main product will be this aldehyde only. The aldehyde will not further oxidize into the carboxylic acid. So what was the drawback in conventional oxidizing method? If we are particularly taking about KMnO4, we are taking K2Cr2O7, we are taking KMnO4 in presence of basic medium. What was the limitation? Limitation was that the as prepared aldehyde will be converted into carboxylic acid, and if we want to get only aldehyde, at that time we will have to oxidize the alcohol in presence of Sarrett reagent, Corrèze reagent, or pyridinium dichromate in organic solvent. So this is that reaction that we can convert it into this one, right? Here is the comparison as well, that this is your ethanol, and this ethanol when react with the strong oxidizing agent, it is get converted into the acetic acid, but here you are getting the acetaldehyde only. So this is the difference between this two different kind of the oxidation. This is your pyridinium chlorochromate, PCC, as I am talking about, or a Swan oxidation reaction is also there that will convert the primary alcohol into aldehyde only. 90% yield is here, right? So this is the use of PCCs here. This is your PDC and PCC. I was talking about that this is your PDC, PCC and Collins reagent. This particular converted this one into PCC reagent into this acetaldehyde. You are getting this. This is PDC. CH2Cl2 is the solvent here, and this is your acetone. And similarly, other oxidation of this alcohol, this particular alcohol, is also Jones reagent, and this is your oxidizing with alkaline KMnO4, acidic K2Cr2O7, and what is this Jones reagent is CrO3 in presence of water or acetone. It will convert this particular alcohol into ketone. So by this method we can oxidize the alcohol into aldehyde or ketones, right? This is another oxidation reaction which is called as the open air oxidation reaction. In case of open air oxidation reaction, we use generally secondary alcohol, and these secondary alcohols are get converted into ketones in presence of aluminium tert-butoxide, right, and acetone. So here is your secondary alcohol, here is your aluminium tert-butoxide, that is the open air oxidation reagent, and in presence of acetone, this particular alcohol will get converted into ketone, and this reagent will be generated back. This reaction is called as the open air oxidation reaction. Next method by which we can prepare aldehyde and ketones by using alcohols, this is oxidation of the vicinal diols, in which the hydroxyl groups are attached to the adjacent positions, adjacent carbon atoms, and that can be oxidized by using periodic acid or lead tetraacetate. For example, here we are using periodic acid. So periodic acid will oxidize this ethylene glycol into 2 molecules of formaldehyde. Similarly, this is a complex molecule which contain these are the 2 hydroxyl group, and this is another hydroxyl group which is attached with this one. So this will get converted into CH3CHO. This will get converted into HCOOH, this will get converted into carbon dioxide, and this will get converted into CH3COCH3. So acetone, acetaldehyde, formic acid and carbon dioxide will be the product from this particular substrate. That is oxidation of vicinal diols by using periodic acid or lead tetraacetate. So if in brief I am talking about the method of preparation of aldehyde and ketones by using your alcohols as the substrate, mainly we can employ the oxidation reaction there, and oxidation can be done by using different type of the oxidizing reagents, and those oxidizing reagents are that may be KMnO4 in presence of acid, KMnO4 in presence of base, K2Cr2O7 in presence of acid. Jones reagent can also be employed. PCC, pyridinium chlorochromate, can be employed. PDC, pyridinium dichromate, can be employed, right? HiO4 for vicinal glycols can be used. Lead tetraacetate again for vicinal glycols can be used. So these are the different kind of oxidizing agents. Copper in presence of 300 degrees Celsius temperature, that can be also be used. So basically by using the oxidation reaction, alcohols can get converted into aldehyde or the ketones. Primary alcohol will get converted into aldehyde and secondary alcohols will get converted into ketones. Similarly, the tertiary alcohols will not be oxidized by mild or strong oxidizing agent, but they can be oxidized by using very strong oxidizing agents, in which there will be fragmentation and ketone will be synthesized and carboxylic acid will be synthesized. And if we want to get only aldehyde, whereas in case of primary alcohol only, at that time we will have to use the selective oxidizing agent, and that will be either Sarrat reagent, that will be Corrèze reagent, or that will be PDC. And their advantage is that they can be used in organic solvent, so they will avoid further oxidation of the as such prepared aldehyde to the carboxylic acid. So in today's topic, that's all about today's topic. Tomorrow we will discuss some more methods of preparation of aldehyde and ketones.